Hello, everybody. It's Belinda from Belinda's Book Nook, and I am here to do a video that will cover my reading wrap up for this past month that's almost over, September. And I want to talk to you guys about what I plan on reading for October because I'm all excited. I don't know why I always get so excited at the end of the month for the next, probably like the third week in the month, I start itching to think about what's going to be the next month. And then I'm like, it makes me laugh because it's like, I have to finish what I'm reading. Why am I worried about what I'm going to read? Which I have a book that's going to go between the 2 months because I'm very rarely cleanly finished at the end of the month. It just doesn't happen. And I can't make up excuses. It's just what it is. It just happens with me. So I hope you guys are doing well. Weather update, because I always do that for you guys on Friday, whether you like it or not, right? It is gloomy here, and it was a light rain a little while ago, but no sun. And I think it's 61. And so my whole plan to switch over my closet this weekend and pull out the shorts and say that's it, it's done. No, I don't know if it's going to happen because I looked at the weather next week and I think we're going to have mid 70s in several days and pretty much the 70s. So this is not what I'm going to want to wear when it's 70. And so I don't know, but I really want to just get that process over because I don't know about you guys. I hate going through and like this year I'm going to be a little bit more strict and getting rid of things I didn't wear this summer that I don't think I'm going to wear or ever fit in. You have that outfit that you're like, oh, it looks so good. And you're like, no, it's not going to happen. So I need to do little hard truths for myself and go through that process. So I may still do it and keep a few things out. I don't know. I say that, but it's not my favorite thing. So I can see me waiting another week before I actually do that. So let's take a peek at September. So September was a pretty good month. I had planned on reading 4 books. And then let me see, did I put in here? See, that one wasn't even in here. I didn't end up reading the exact books that I thought I was going to read. There was a couple of little switches. So, what are you going to do? So Summer in Sag Harbor, I've already talked to you guys about it. I liked it a lot. It was good. It was just a fun beach read, and catching up with the characters. And I know nothing about Sag Harbor. I'm very familiar with Oprah St. Martha's Vineyard when she did her first book, but this was a new place to me, so it was really interesting. And I did find myself going to look online to see what it looks like in Sag Harbor and things like that. So that was really good. Then the next book that I had intended on reading was and I don't have the book, I have the jacket right now. I think the book it's downstairs. I'm not going to go get it, but In the Upper Country by Kai Thomas. Okay, so when you guys saw me last week, this is the funny part, I was talking to you with the wrong information. So I was saying, I'm trying to wrap this up because I had a week to read it, and I wanted to be done with it for the book club, and I wasn't exactly feeling the book that much. Well, I've had this thing that probably for the last 1.5 to 2 years, that I take breaks periodically from social media. So I may be on, watching videos on YouTube for a while, and then I will just stop doing it and take a little siesta from it. Because I do know that as lovely as it can be, it can also get into your brain and start making you think things that really aren't true. And so I always take a break from it. And also because there's so much I do offline that I don't need to really do that all day, so I remind myself of all the joys that I have that are outside of social media. And so I have not been on Instagram, and I had a really cute picture of Ella that I wanted to put up on my Instagram account for the first day of fall. And so I went on only to find out that they had the meeting, I guess, this past weekend. So yeah, I was thinking it was this weekend. I don't know where I missed the whole I'm really bad with like sometimes keeping track of my schedule, and this was one of them. So here I am scrolling through Instagram, and we always take a picture with Dee Dee, like, and holding our books up, and it at the end of or in some part of the meeting. And so here I scroll through and I see all my other friendly, lovely bookmates from the book club sitting there with their picture of their book, holding their book in their hand. So there's two things that went across my mind, and be completely honest with you. One was like, oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. And then I double look, I'm like, is that the author? Did they get the author? I missed talking to the author. I love every opportunity to see, hear from authors and to ask them questions. So I was like, oh, that was the first thought. And then the second thought was, I'm not finishing the last, I think I had 40 pages left of the book. I said, good, I don't have to. I'm not in here. I'm going to fess up. I'm not calling this a DNF because I made it through so far this book. I didn't read the ending. Maybe what I could do is go, like, people in my old book club, this one lady used to go to the end and read the end first. I hate that. But I don't know exactly how it ends, but to be honest, I really am not interested. I just didn't connect with this book, and I was glad to see their average rating was in the ballpark where I was with the book too. I think the concept was good. I think that the pacing of the story just really made it challenging for me to grab on and want to go for the ride, and the characters just weren't necessarily my cup of tea. So there was that. But just what? It's going to go in my book. What I did read of this, the notes and the things that I took, I am still putting it in my book journal as a book that I read because I almost finished it and I put in a lot of time and effort for it. I didn't just read the first chapter and ditch it, so I don't feel like it's a DNF. I do need to know what the end is to at least be able to say that I, got to the end. So maybe I will peek. I don't know. Anyway, I'm just glad that that's done. But that was just so funny. I just immediately told my husband, I started laughing. I said, oh my God, I missed it. I totally missed it. I thought that the meeting was the following weekend, which would have been this weekend. So yeah, there I am. I'm the crazy lady. Okay, so the other books that I had on my list was The Bandit Queens by Parvati Shroff. And this one I started, and it's very cute so far. This is the one that's going to bleed through this month to the next because I am probably I'm only in the beginning phases. I think I'm further than, I think I'm about 50 in. I think that's wrong because I kind of fell asleep. But this one, I do want to finish this one. So I think in my book journal, I had put it in this month. I will put it in there and write my entry and say when I completed it, which will be in next month. But I do want to finish this one, and it is really cute so far. It's interesting. So I am liking that one. And then the other one, which I think is below me, I never got to it, is Isabel Allende, A Long Patrol at Sea. Didn't get to it. I really want to read one of her books this year. I kind of read hers. I don't know if I can say every year, but I feel like I've, if not every year, every other year, I've read a book from her. So I do want to get to this. I'm not feeling it right now. So I'm not going to force myself. This is one of the things that I said now. It's like, if you're not interested and you're not going to do it right now, then you're not going to do it. So these are the books that I'm planning on reading for this month of October, and it may change. I'll say that because I can see how I've done that already in September. I kind of did that. So there's a big possibility that things could change because there's some other ones that I want to squeak in. And for me, I basically know I have September, October, November. So now I have 2 more months to finish my reading for this year. That's it. December is going to be the relax, reflect, and plan for the new year. And that's it. I'm just gonna you get caught up. I got family that's coming in town, so I know that I'm going to be busy. So I just, and I'm going to try to do, or probably, no, I'm not probably, I always do more crafts in that time period. So I think my hands will be busy and my mind will not really be able to attach to a book. I say that, maybe it'll happen, but if it is, I will probably read like or listen to an audiobook of either a cozy mystery or a romance, like a holiday romance or something like that. That might be something I'll do in December, but no big TBR for me. All right, so I think I had another book. I don't know where the other book. I only see 3 books here right now, and I know there was a 4th. Well, I'm going to show you these 3, and then when it dawns on me, I'll show you in another video what I thought of the 4th. I always pick like 3 or 4 books, but I don't know what the other one was. I think I might have it in my, I might have it in here in my Kindle, because I had plans and I said, oh yeah, I think I might add that to October, because that's what I was thinking. No, well, my internet works so slow. I will just look at what I have for you guys. Okay, so let's start with first the book club. What? Skip that. Okay. All right. I don't know why it's doing this. It's really funny. You go in sometimes to Libby and it's got, they did an update. That's what I think it is. So it's actually kind of wonky. All right. So this is the book for, I believe, I say this as if I know. There's a little ding in the bottom. I hate that. But I wanted this cover, this version of it. I just liked it. It makes me think of Legos, and then it just makes me think of like, kids, like the primary colors and having, basic shapes for the cover. So this book is for the Read So Lit book club for the month of October. I believe the book we're reading is The 392 by Ashley Hickson Lovins. I actually ordered this one and I think the next book or ahead of time so that I'm ready when we start the month. So I got this one because I didn't like the cover that I saw on Amazon. And I'm trying to think where I ordered this, that I was able to get this cover, which I really like it. I don't know why. It's like a bus, right? But like, look at the colors and the shapes and everything. So I just thought it was great. Okay, so let's read a little bit about this one. This is the 392. It says, set entirely on a London bus traveling from Hoxton to Highbury and taking place over just 36 minutes. The events of the 392 unfold through a cast of charismatic characters coming from very different worlds. On the 392 are all the familiar faces you might expect to see on any bus ride through inner city London. In the grip of gentrification, delinquent school kids, the high flyers, the weird, the wonderful, and the homeless. These Londoners share 2 things, a bus journey and a threat which is ready to blow apart everything they know. Ooh, don't even know what that means, but I'm here for it. It looks like a really fast read, and it sounds like it's really small. Like this for us, we usually do bigger books. And so I'm all here for this book. Yep, it's less than 200 pages. Hey. So we'll know that I'll finish it. And the author, let me tell you, Ashley Hickson Lovins was born in 1991 in Hackney, London. He's a former football referee and secondary school English teacher, and is currently completing his PhD in creative and critical writing at the University of East Anglia. And then that's a picture of him right there. You can see him. So yeah, I'm ready for this. So this is the book that we're supposed to read for that. And I don't know how, if this is this theme here. I have 2 books that are red and black covers. It's kind of funny. The next one is one that my sister and I picked about 2 months ago. We said, let's read something kind of spooky or suspenseful in October. And I cheated. Because when I bought this book, I think I showed it to you guys. I had one. I gave her 2 options because she was like, you pick. I don't feel like picking. I gave her this one, which I already owned, so that was like score, don't have to buy a new one. And then there was another one that I had found, and I can't remember what it was, but it really sounded interesting. I still want to check that one out. And she picked this one, and this one is called Jackal by Erin E. Adams. So it's a new book. It came out this year, I believe. Let me see. Let me make sure. I immediately fell for this cover. I'm sorry, it came out in 2022. So I got it last year then. I got it when it was new. So so this one is called Jackal, and it says, I'll read a little inside to you. It says, a young black girl goes missing in the woods outside her white Rust Belt town, but she's not the first, and she may not be the last. It's watching. Liz Rocher, I'm going to say, is coming home reluctantly. As a black woman, Liz doesn't exactly have fond memories of Jonestown, Pennsylvania, a predominantly white town. Liz has grown, though she can handle herself. Plus, her best friend is getting married, so she braces herself for a weekend of awkward, passive-aggressive reunions. But she wasn't expecting on the night of the wedding, somewhere between dancing and dessert, the newlywed's daughter, Caroline, would disappear, leaving behind only a piece of white fabric covered in blood. And so it goes on, and it tells you some more. So we are both here for it, and hopefully it doesn't like scare us. It's kind of like a Jason Peele type thing, isn't that his name? And this book is by Erin E. Adams, a first-generation Haitian-American writer and theater artist. She received her BA with honors in literary arts from Brown University, her MFA in acting from the Old Globe and the University of San Diego Shiley Graduate Theater Program, and her MFA in dramatic writing from NYU Tisch School of the Arts. An award-winning playwright and actor, Adams has called New York City home for the last decade. Jackal is her first novel. So this is her debut novel, and this is a picture of her in there. So we're looking forward to this. So this one, when my sister said to me, I was talking to her today, she's like, I want to start now. I know it's not the first. I'm like, you can start now. I have a book that is going to come into this month, and I want to try to get a little further in that before I start. But I am going to start because she and I usually talk daily. And so we'll probably be, I don't want her to, she won't spoil it, but I don't want her to have to like be waiting for me to catch up. So I will probably start this sooner than later. And seeing that the one for book club is small, I probably will start that later. Oh, I can feel it already. I'm trying to talk fast around the tickle. My allergies. And then I've messed up and forgot my medicine 2 days this week. So it's like my system is not happy with me. So now I have the tickle. And so I'm going to definitely start the one for the book club. I think that's what I was saying. Probably at least 1 week to 2 weeks in. But depending, I find out when the meeting is. I want to make sure I don't miss it this time. But I am going to also like read it closer to the meeting time since it's small. Now this book was all over the place, and many of you, I won't say everybody because I hate when people say that because I'm like, I didn't hear that book. But many of you might have heard about this book. And I remember when I saw it and I was like, for some reason, I'm always like that with books. I don't want to hear about it because it's too much fuss. Then I watched some booktuber, I don't remember, I should have wrote down, talk about this book. And then that the fourth book in this, it's kind of a series, is coming out now. And I was like, I want to read it now. So I went out and snagged me a copy. And it's called Before the Coffee Gets Cold. It's by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. And it says, what would you change if you could travel back? My hair is in my mouth. If you could travel back in time. And this is the cover of it. So that you probably remember if you see it by the cover. I remember seeing the cover all over. And I'll read, let me see, in here. It says, if you could go back, who would you want to meet? In a small back alley of Tokyo, there's a cafe that has been serving carefully brewed coffee for more than 100 years. Local legends say that this shop offers something else besides coffee, the chance to travel back in time. Over the course of one summer, 4 customers visit the cafe in the hopes of making that journey. But time travel isn't so simple, and there are rules that must be followed. Most important, the trip can last only as long as it takes for the coffee to get cold. Heartwarming, wistful, mysterious, and delightfully quirky, Toshikazu Kawaguchi's internationally bestseller novel explores the age-old question, what would you change if you could travel back in time? This is like totally perfectly fall, right? Like, doesn't that, it feels so like, something you'd want to, like ponder and things, I feel like there's so much introspection and reflection in the fall. The summer is like rush and do things and get outside and all that. And then in the fall, you're starting to kind of like get in that mode for the reset for the new year and thinking about what has happened for the year. So I thought this would be really a good fall book to read. So this I added on there that was not on there. There was another book, and it's really bothering me that I can't remember. Is it in here? Nope. Well, I'll mention it next time. And then the other thing, I don't know if I mentioned this book, but I've been reading this along for the last few months. Slowly. I've really been cherishing it and flagging the heck out of it. Look. But this is the one, I think I told you about it. Think Like a Monk, Train Your Mind for Peace and Purpose Every Day by Jay Shetty. This is so good. I am going cuckoo nuts. Like I think I set up. So in this one, you know how I told you I set up my flags, like color code them. So for this one, I have pink is for quotes, green is for action items or principles, and yellow is for facts and historical stuff. And so like I can look at this and I can go right to the green and see something that I think is either a principle or something that I could do. And I love that because it would make it easier as I come back to this book to pull the information that I want from it. I'm enjoying it. And what I've been doing is just reading maybe 2 or 3 pages each night. It might be in addition to whatever I'm reading, or it just might be that night. Some nights I just fall right to sleep. So that's 2 or 3 pages are in here. But I was at first trying to read this in a month, but I'm really enjoying reading it slow and kind of reflecting on it and kind of looking back at things. And there's so much information in here and ways to approach things that I really like. So I will talk about it and probably do a nice wrap up when I finish because I think it's that good. But I am enjoying it. And it's a nice book for the fall too. Like it's just like a reset of how we want to be in the world, so it's really good. So there's that. What else? Just been getting the house ready. Oh, today is my oldest son's birthday. I'm very happy. He's coming home today from college, and we're going to celebrate tonight, probably go out to eat, and then tomorrow we always spend the holiday with my in-laws, birthdays with my in-laws, because my mother-in-law loves to like celebrate birthdays. So we will go over there tomorrow, and then he'll go back to school because he's got homework to do. He has to stay the whole weekend, but I'm really excited to see him today when he gets home. I cannot believe that he is just, I can't believe he's in college. The time goes by so fast, and I am just like, ugh. And I even went yesterday, I went and got my hair cut and colored, so you guys don't have to see the scary gray that was upon me. Like you look back on the videos, oh, it was there. So I always love like the first few days after you go because it's like there's not one peep of gray, and then you start to see little things showing again. And so so right now I'm in my bliss, my haircut bliss, and then I'll be mad again in a couple of days. Like I can see one, I can find it, I can see it, yeah. So but other than that, let me see what else is happening. So that's what our plans are for this weekend. I'm going to do, like I said, I'm going to really try to kick it in high gear. It's not officially the 1st yet. So I am probably not going to start any of those other books until at least the 1st or after, which would mean probably Monday. And I'm going to give myself the weekend to see how much I can get through this one. Hopefully, to a good point so that I really have been these past few months enjoying reading one book at a time Whereas I would, if I had a nonfiction, like I said, a nonfiction I can do at the same time. But because these are all fiction, I have a hard time like reading multiple. So I have been forcing myself to just sit with one book at a time. And I think it's really been better for me to, especially books that I feel like I'm having a hard time grasping or getting into. I think when I do that and spread myself too thin, I'm not able to really appreciate the book. As I always say, the author intended it. They don't write a book for you to read it with another book, but you know, we do what we do. So, but I have been enjoying reading one at a time. So I'm going to try to crank through as much as I can of this before I start any of the fall ones. And hopefully I'll have made great progress when you see me again. We will see. But I hope you guys have a lovely weekend. I know I still talked a long time because that's just me. And let me know what you're reading and what you finished last month, likes and dislikes, what you're planning on reading this month. I've started already doing my decorating. Have you started decorating in the house? I am more of a fall person, but I do put up a little bit of Halloween stuff in the house, and I have been enjoying doing that this year. I'm kind of ready for fall. I love fall. So I love cozy sweaters. I love blankets and tea and soup and bread and cookies and cakes and all those things. It's just really nice. And then just like going places when it's like kind of crappy outside and have your book, like I go into the cafe or go into the library or a bookstore. Those things feel even more special to me in the fall. So I hope you guys, I can hear it again. Oh my goodness. Anyway, so I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I look forward to seeing you next week and talking to you about some more fun stuff that are going on, and hopefully great progress in my reading. I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.